Oh, my queen, I pledge my eternal services to you. For starters, I'm no queen. Secondly, I'm not a purple dinosaur. And three, what could you do for me? I know where to get grilled salmon. That has possibilities. Hello everybody, Sparkster1701 here. We're taking a look this time around at a legacy Transformer, one of the last ones to be released before the line was rebranded. This is Predacon Inferno. Of course, Inferno's a popular name among Transformers since it was first introduced in the Generation 1 line as an Autobot fire truck. Now, here we have the name being used for a Predacon from the Beast War era. Apparently, Inferno's pod was discovered by a couple of the other Predacons who were trying to fight to claim it for themselves and reform it into an arachnid-style creature. But it had already scanned information and data on a fire ant, and thus it formed. That's what gave Inferno here his new alternate form. Inferno's a little bit crazy, since he is apparently, from the way the bio reads, borderline psychotic. But like an ant, he's also fiercely devoted to the colony and its queen. But in this case, of course, the colony would be the other Predacons, and his queen is thus Megatron, the Beast War era dinosaur, not the Generation 1 gun or tank as we all commonly know. So we definitely got ourselves a bit of an oddball here, and well, he certainly looks it here with this character. I mean, take a look at that face here. That definitely does not scream sane. But he is interesting to look at all the same. We'll take a look here now at his one accessory, if he'll give it to me. And that is his gun. It is described as a launcher, apparently. And as we can see here from the front, it is a quad-barreled gun. So this sucker will definitely be nasty if it's firing all four barrels at the same time. And at pretty close range. I mean, the closest thing I've fired like this has been the fully modified shotgun in the Mad Max video game on my PlayStation. So, I mean, you fire something like that point blank, that's definitely going to blow a person to pieces. But I think this one's more described sort of similar to a rocket launcher. So, point blank would be suicidal on Inferno here. Now, of course, the thing that really bothers me that's strange is we have a couple of holes here along the sides of the launcher. Now, while the instructions don't show anything about that, it sort of implies that other weapons could be added to this gun. And, well, let's face it, if something like that could be done, that would definitely make this thing even more impressive. Alright, we're going to take a look now at Inferno's posability here, his articulation, and it's a little different from what we normally get from other Transformers, especially one of him being a Voyager class. Like, namely, for starters, the head really doesn't turn. No, there it goes. Now it does turn. I was going to say it didn't, but I guess we've worked it loose. And it is on a ball joint, so it will look up and down. But we also get a bonus thing with it, in the fact that his mouth is supposed to open. There we go. See, we got an opening mouth. So we can show off them fangs he's got. I think Larry should be careful about wanting grilled salmon from him. This dude may eat it on him. You can raise his arms up to the sides, about so far. They will rotate at the shoulder all the way, but the one leg, the ant legs may get in the way, because he's got one here on his abdomen, and two are attached to the arm. He has double jointed elbows, so that's always a bonus. And of course he does have a swivel at the bicep, so he has something akin to G.I. Joe Battle Grip, but again, the ant legs get in the way. We can slightly twist him at the hips. A lot of that also, again, depends on the ant kibble on his backside. He can spread his legs apart into a full splits. He does have a very good thigh cut, so we can adjust his legs like so. You can raise his legs up at the hip 90 degrees. We can bend his leg at the knee 90 degrees. And he also has a swivel here at his ankle. But I guess that's more for transforming him than for actual posing, so I wouldn't mess with it too much. Alright, we're going to make a slight adjustment here, because this dude's set up in the wrong way. This is supposed to be up, that's supposed to be down. And those folded out a little bit. So that's how he's really supposed to look. This is the problem with keeping some of these guys in storage for a while. They shift on me. And of course, one other thing to show off before we transform is that since this gun does have a post at the very back of it, if you don't want him to hold the gun, you can just plug it in back here. That'd give him extra support against this wall, too. Alright, take the gun out of there. Because now we're going to get ready to transform Inferno, and like many of the insects, he's a little bit complex, but it's really not as hard as it looks. First thing we got to do is we got to separate the ant head from the body. As you can see, there's a little tab in there that holds it in. So first thing we do is separate that. Then as we're bringing it up, we also want to split the head like so. Then we can reach in here and we fold out the mandibles. Get them out just like that. And then we open the outer set up a bit. And that's maybe too wide, but basically just open them up a bit. And then once we've done that, then you will resume folding it up so that it covers his head. Shift the legs from the arms around a little bit. So once it's covering his head, once the front end is covering his head, you can then bring it down together and force it together to completely cover his robot head. And then, of course, while we're back here, we'll take this portion of his rear piece, and it has to be rotated like that for some reason. Then we're going to turn him back around, And you fold up his arms at the elbows. Hence why he's got that nice perk of having double jointed elbows. Get them folded up. And then you're going to turn the arm... keep moving these legs around. Turn the arms at the shoulder. So the arms are kind of facing like this. Just exactly like that. So once they're like that, then you can take the legs that are on his forearm, that are up here at the top of his arms, kind of shift them to the back a bit. And then they kind of want us to pitch the body forward a bit and rotate him at the hip so that his legs are backwards. And then now we're going to start to fold the arms inwards. Start by doing it at the shoulder joint like this, so that way they're positioned quite like this. Then the next step is going to be to fold them inwards. As you probably noticed inside there's a couple of square holes. Those are basically going to be where his fingers are going to poke into. And you see these red tabs here on his shoulders. They're going to meet in the middle and connect together. So they go in there just like that. And of course you can adjust the legs, just the ant legs here, so that they're kind of like that and they're not in the way. Then next we're going to take the waist section and we will fold his waist inwards like so. As you see, the waist piece moved, separated from the ant body, so that it's like that. Once you've done that, then we will bring down just the legs, so that he's basically standing like so. So now with that done, we have to shift around his legs and feet so that they come up and rest against the leg like so. Basically, to do that, rotate it out from the foot. Then we'll rotate the front end of the foot forward so that it covers the dual claw. And then, of course, shift it back in like so, and then rest it against the leg. Rather complicated. Instructions don't make that exactly clear. Then now we're going to fold his legs upwards at the knee, like that. Get it all the way down so that he shrinks up a bit in size. And then, of course, once that is done, then we can press his legs together. So he's got a post on one leg and a hole on the other. So there we go. So then, now that he's like that, we got to come up here and get this section to fold downwards to start covering him. Get this piece that we have folded earlier resting on his legs. And then we bring these two side pieces over like this. And then the top piece gets brought down. But of course, we got to make sure these are solidly connected. You'll see here, there's a little hole, and it should line up and connect to a post protruding from the legs. There we go, that's the one in. There goes the other one. And the top one here has a couple of slots that'll connect to these two down here, especially if they are secured, which they should be. And of course, once you've done that, we can rotate the rear insect legs. They rotate downward at the hip, and then you just rotate them at the other joint to get them into position. And then, of course, once we've done that, we fold down the front antenna. And there we have it. Inferno is in his fire ant mode. And of course, if you want to go all army ants with him, you can attach his gun right here on his backside. And then he's really ready to cause some trouble. And of course, like with all the insect-like transformers, you do have some articulation in the legs. But disappointingly, for the front two legs, it is only at the shoulder. The front ones really don't move much. The middle ones can be. The back ones not only have it at their shoulder, but they also have a spot in the knee that can be articulated. And of course, you can also open and close the mandibles a bit. So that's really about it. Getting down to my thoughts on Inferno, I like the character of Inferno. I like the fact that he is a little bit on the crazy side. And I do like the fact that he does take his animal form to the extreme, believing that he is serving a queen and a colony. So the characterization of him is interesting. As for the toy, well, the robot looks pretty good. It's a pain in the butt to get it out of the box, I'll tell you that much too. But I do like the fact that it does have a little bit better articulation than what we would have expected. I especially enjoy the fact that he has an opening and closing mouth. His fire ant mode, well, it's okay, I guess. I'm a little disappointed by the lack of articulation on the legs, because it would kind of help if the legs could be moved just a little bit more, even if for no other reason than to help get them out of the way. The transformation of it between the both modes, it's okay, but I think with the way the legs were done up, they could have done a little bit better of a job with it. The instructions aren't exactly clear on how you're moving things, and that can frustrate some people, or even get this to break. But if you can overcome those shortcomings, this is not a bad toy to have in your collection. And that's my review of the Legacy version of Predacon Inferno. I hope everybody enjoyed it. And please do remember that if you like the content we feature on this channel, please do remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. This is Sparkster1701 saying I'll catch you all later.